Hello friends, hope you all doing well. So today here in this video we'll discuss about the mandibular canine. So there are uh, two mandibular canines. So there are total four canine teeth in our mouth. So there are two in maxilla and two in mandibular. So uh, and mandibular canine is two in number, in one in right quadrant and one in the left quadrant. So they are named as in universal system, in the universal system they are named as 22, 27, and Zigmandi Palmer system it's named as 33, and FDI system they are named as 33 and 43. So this is the numbering of mandibular canine. Now let's talk about the different the morphology of the uh, mandibular canine in the labial aspect, labial, lingual, mesial, and distal aspect. So the mandibular canine is the crown of the mandibular canine is narrower mesiodistally than that of the maxillary canine. The root may be as long as the root may be, the crown is narrower mesiodistally, and the root may be as long as maxillary canine, but it is maybe somewhat smaller. The mouth. Now let's talk about the labial of spade. The mesiodistal dimension of mandibular canine is less than that of the maxillary canine. The the mesiodistal labial, lingual, mesial, distal. The mesiodistal dimension is of mandibular canine is less than that of the maxillary canine. The mesial outline, this is the mesial outline. The mesial outline of the crown of mandibular canine is nearly straight. And the distal contact area of the mandibular canine is more towards the incisal aspect. And the cervical line labially has semicircular curvature apically, and the root is shorter than that of the maxillary canine. And that was the labial aspect. So the labial aspect in one, the mesiodistal dimension is mandibular canine is less than that of the maxillary canine, and the major outline of the crown of mandibular canine is nearly straight. And number 3, that is the distal contact area of mandibular canine is more towards the incisal aspect. And the cervical line labially has semicircular uh, curvature apically, and the root is shorter than that of the maxillary canine. Now let's talk about the lingual aspect. Talk about the labial. Now the lingual aspect. The lingual aspect is smooth. And poorly developed. The marginal ridges are less directed, and the marginal ridges are also blunt. And the lingual surface of the crown is smooth and regular. Now the mesial aspect. The mandibular canine has less curvature mesially on the crown, with very little curvature directly above the cervical line. And the lingual outline of the crown is curved as that of the maxillary canine. And the curvature at the cervical line has less than 0.5 mm. And the cingulum is and this cingulum is not so much pronounced. And now the distal aspect, the crown is crown wedge shaped, but it's overall thinner than the maxillary canine, thinner than the maxillary canine. And the lingual portion from this part is smooth. From this part, the lingual portion is smooth, and the distal aspect is very much similar to the mesial aspect. Very much similar to the mesial aspect, and the distal contact area is more cervically located than the mesial contact area. So now let's talk about the incisal aspect or the occlusal aspect. The outline of the occlusal surface of maxillary canine is similar to the maxillary canine. It's similar to the maxillary canine, and the mandibular dimension of the mesiodistal dimension, mesiodistal dimension is the mesiodistal dimension of maxillary canine is less than that of the mandibular canine. So it's little more than the maxillary canine. And the cusp tip and mesial cusp ridges are more inclined in the lingual direction. So it was the morphology of mandibular canine. So thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe the channel for